ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai movie monster series Godzilla and Gigan Rex, both of which come from Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex, an animated short film that was released and shown off at Godzilla Fest on Godzilla Day. I have quite a lot to say, and I'm going to try and make this review flow as best as I possibly can, so without further ado, let's get started. First off, we've got some pretty big tags, bigger than usual when it comes to movie monster series figures. They're actually fairly similar in size to the Kadokawa Gamera tags, just a bit thicker and a bit taller, unfortunately. Bandai movie monster series, Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex, whole bunch of other stuff. Pretty minimal backside, and since these are Godzilla store exclusives, we are going to double sleeve them. One penny sleeve and one top loader, even though the top bit's gonna be sticking out a little bit, whatever. Gigan Rex will have the exact same tag, except red, and it says Gigan Rex over here instead of Godzilla. Same basic stuff on the back of the tag, a little bent. Penny sleeve 1, and top loader 2. In terms of detail, Godzilla Rex over here is an absolute dream. Beautiful, bumpy, diseased-looking skin. I love it, I love it, I love it. I don't know what it is, though. His legs feel a little on the small side. Maybe they're just a little too close together. I don't know. Something feels off about these. It's probably just me, though. They may look off, but the detail is fantastic, and moving up through his thighs, crotch, titty area, and everything. Again, Bandai did a fantastic job with this guy. And even though the details on these dorsal fins over here are a bit on the samey side, I can't get over how great they look, especially the ones that are friggin' painted. We'll get into all the bitcheries very, very soon, but first off, more detail. Yes, even on the underside of the tail, we're going to get some fantastic looking detail. And even if it's on the back side of the feet, shins, thighs, or just Godzilla's back and arms in general, it's gonna look positively sublime. So Toho, you nearly took the rights away from Trendmasters because they gave Godzilla 5 fingers, even though they were just following concept art, and yet this guy having 5 fingers is okay? I see you. I do. Maybe this guy really isn't Junior after all. Maybe he's Godzilla 1998. Oh. Anyway, the detail and the paint on the fingers and hands, it's all very, very nice. I like that all the fingertips were painted, and just the detail on these arms overall, no matter the side, is great. Every bit of detail on this figure is just great. So I'm going to give detail a solid friggin' star. Now we can talk about paint. So since I already mentioned the fingers, Godzilla's toes are all going to be painted. He doesn't have any Duke claws or anything like that, so just 4 straight toes. Godzilla's teeth look pretty good. I mean, they do get a little bunched up over here. This almost looks like a little bit of a factory error going on. But all the teeth are painted, both on the side and the front, including tongue. I mean, that's not painted, but that's a detail. Yet again, solid star in terms of detail. And then the teeth over here on this side look a little bit better. They don't look as bunched up. But since we are here, we can talk about these eyes. And yeah, they're a bit on the wonky side. So much so that I can't really tell which eye is the best. I mean, this one looks a little bit lower down. This one looks a little bit more centered, but it's runny and the pupil feels a little off-center. But then this one, the pupil's definitely more centered, but it looks a little off-center as a whole. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, the eyes leave a little to be desired. In fact, he looks just kinda goofy. But enough about eyes, fingernails, and toes. Let's take a look at these dorsal fins. So I'm going to keep it brief. All the dorsal fins that are painted look fantastic. The detail looks a little on the samey side, don't know if I said that already, but it's all good. My main complaint with the dorsal fins this time around is not that they're not fully painted on the tip of the tail over here. I don't even care if you see stuff at the side of the screen. It's the fact that these aren't painted at all. It's like, yeah, it's technically only 4 dorsal fins, but why? Why? Just why? You're only used to painting 3 rows of dorsal fins there, Bandai, so God forbid a Godzilla has 4 rows of dorsal fins, you're just not going to paint them? Does it scare you? That is some dumb, lazy bullshit. And the funny thing is, some of these dorsal fins are painted on the opposite side because of the obvious spray job that the center rows got. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make a stink over it. This would be a little bit less painful had you just painted this. It's like, look at how much of a sore thumb this is. Look at how it just sticks out. It's like, it doesn't even look like the same color of vinyl that you used for the rest of the figure. Come on, Bandai. And on top of that, the body won't be receiving any kind of highlights or anything like that anywhere. And yeah, that kinda bums me out. And even though this Godzilla really didn't have too much coloration on his skin, that's a bit of a moot bitching point on my end, it still would have been nice to see some sort of dry brushing on the skin. Maybe not so much what they did with Ride Goji and it being green, but something similar to that with like a silver or a darker gray. Kind of like what they did with the Heat Ray version of Godzilla Ultima. Just something to give this a little bit more. You know, he's got all these bumps and grooves in there, and to have him so basic and bare, it just kind of feels like a missed opportunity. Plus, Heat Ray Ultima had paint all the way up to the tip of his tail. And I don't mean to continue on this rant, but look at 1996 Gamera. This guy was a wide release. I paid significantly less for him before shipping, and he looks more like an exclusive than Goji Rex does. Hell, even 91 Goji feels more like an exclusive than Goji Rex does. Sure, he doesn't have anything really going on with his skin, but he feels complete. He doesn't feel like he's lacking anything. Goji Rex does. I'm a broken record hack job. I know, you don't even gotta tell me, but I'm sorry. This is disappointing in terms of paint. And even along Bandai's standards, this is below their standards, I would say. Absolutely. So in terms of paint, Goji Rex is going to get a solid X. Now we can take a look at articulation, and I'll see you in a couple seconds. Goji Rex can move all the way around at the arms. Oh yeah, both sides. Same with the legs on both sides. And we'll get nothing at the base of the tail, nothing at the center/tip of the tail, and nothing at the head. That's about all I really expected for this guy, so solid star. I'm not getting rid of that solid X in terms of paint either. This is below average for Bandai. They've done a lot better this year, and that's a friggin' fact. Anyway, now we can take a look at a good figure. Gigan Rex. Oh, man. Metallic purplish pink, whatever the frick color for his visor. Metallic silver for the mouth. Gunmetal gray for the belly, titties, and crotchal area. Friggin' gold for his bladed arms and the very tip of his tail. There will also be gunmetal gray on the bottom side of his tail, just so you know. More gunmetal gray for the top of Gigan's tail. More of it for most of the bottom side of Gigan's tail except for this patch over here. More standard metallic silver for his pudgy little feet. And finally, we'll get some gunmetal gray on Gigan's sails over here, highlighting that very wavy detail that is also present on his bladed hands, arms, whatever. Yeah, it is a little unfortunate that the inside of the sails will remain unpainted. Same for his back, because his back does have some really cool looking details there. But you know what? I'll take it and run with it. A win's a win. In terms of paint, I am going to give Gigan Rex a solid friggin' star. He absolutely deserves it. You know, it's weird because he feels a little on the lacking side, but when compared to how he looked in the animated short, I don't think this is all that far off. There might have been a different, weird, shimmery coloration on his skin that might have made him look a little bit more metallic, but for the most part, this seems pretty good. Detail time. Gigan Rex is a beautiful biomechanical boy. Just look at all of these musculatures and stuff going on with Gigan's body, swirling around all of the metallic patches. This is fantastic, and it's just about everywhere, even in the crotch and belly region. I mean, just look at that. That looks great. Side of the arms, side of the neck, side of the head over here. Even the side of the body, thighs, and legs overall. This looks great. Now, I would even say this looks fantastic. Hell, even the backs of his arms have great details, and again, his back is just coated in it, man. Oh, I wish it was all painted. I really do, because this looks so very cool. And then moving down to this area, Gigan's tail over here, it's all armored and almost chainsaw-y looking. I love it, I love it, I love it. And yes, even Gigan's tail has that very fleshy looking detail to it, almost like he's draped over with melted Twizzlers. And we'll also get some detail on the tip of Gigan's tail. I will say one thing though, I do wish Gigan's tail was a little bit more, I don't know, like wavy or curved or something. This is going to give me anxiety. Like, I know that this gold paint is gonna scuff easily. So I'm gonna have to find a way to display this guy that doesn't take up oodles and oodles of room of shelf space. But hey, for the most part, paint is a solid star, and yes, detail is going to be a solid star as well, because goddamn. Yep, this is one of the best. Oh, so yes. Now let's take a look at articulation, huh? Ow. Don't expect too much though, because a lot like Godzilla Rex, Gigan Rex can go all the way around at the arms, both sides, of course, and he'll be able to go all the way around at the legs too. Unfortunately, just like Godzilla, nothing in the head, as you can see, and nothing in the tail either. But despite that, I am still going to give Gigan Rex a solid star in terms of articulation. It does pretty much everything I was expecting it to, and it looks a million times better than Godzilla does. So, size comparisons. I think the day that I overlook an underpainted exclusive figure from Bandai is the day that this channel is just going to go up in flames, because that's when I've just lost. But despite all that, and to not just like hover over it any longer, I am very happy to have both of these figures in, and it feels really good for the movie monster series to be ending the year off on, well, I wouldn't really call this a full-on high note, but at least we get Godzilla 1984 by the end of the year, right? Oh, and all the other new movie monster series releases that are coming out in December. There's that. I just really wish these exclusive figures would actually be presented as exclusive figures. I know that argument's probably getting really tiresome for some of you, and I know a bunch of you are going to enjoy this figure regardless, and that's perfectly fine. More power to you. I'm just going to be a stickler for a tickler about this friggin' paint job, man. I really am. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm happy to have them in the collection. I don't regret buying them. I do wish I got a little bit more bang for my buck, but hey, what can you do? Bandai just seems to be wishy-washy nowadays, and I really wish they weren't. But regardless, I will still be a Movie Monster series stan until the end of my days on this channel, or even in real life, so yeah. I have been ShinRobjira. I do so hope you all enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I post reviews here very, very frequently, Mondays and Fridays. But anyway, when next we meet, I will finally be talking about Hiya Toys' Godzilla 2021. Hype! I'll see you then, I'll see you there. Have yourselves a lovely friggin' weekend, and stand Gigan Rex. This is the good boy right here.